Hello and welcome back to Immigration News and Views. My name is David Nachman and I'm one of the managing attorneys at the NPZ, Nachman Fawani Zimochek Law Group, with offices in Ridgewood, New Jersey, in New York City. We also have an affiliated office in Canada and one in Mumbai, India. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the new changes that Customs and Border Protection has told us about. And I'm recently returned from a conference out in San Francisco where I had heard from many of the government agencies updates and various information pieces that they had presented. And one of the big issues which was discussed at that national conference was having to do with the electronic I-94 form. The I-94 form is the arrival departure record, and that's that little white card that's given to an arriving foreign national when they come into the United States and they go to the kiosk, and this Customs and Border Protection officer takes that little white card and puts it into the passport. So what I want to tell you a little bit about is the change that recently took place, and that is that Customs and Border Protection, which is one of the subdivisions of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, will no longer be issuing those little white cards. So rather, what's going to happen is that when you present yourself with your visa at the kiosk, when you enter the United States, that's what's called the port of entry, for what's called inspection, to determine whether or not you are admissible. What's going to happen is that the officer is going to take a look at your visa, maybe ask you a couple of questions, and then give you a stamp in your passport. That stamp is going to have a number on it, and so what you're going to be able to do now is, rather than to have that little white card, you're going to be able to computer generate your own I-94. Now, what you need to know is that that computer generated I-94 is going to be active only so long as you're in the United States. Once you depart from the United States, it won't be active. So what we're recommending to all of our clients and prospective clients is to, once you come in, go ahead and generate that I-94 document for yourself, that computer-generated I-94. So you'll go to a website. It's called http, of course, www.cbp.gov/I-94 without the dash. And what you'll be able to do is you'll find prompts there to put information in about your name, and what you'll do is you'll enter that information and you will be able to generate a computer-generated I-94. And you should maintain that for your records. And if you have any problems at all actually getting that I-94, what you'll be able to do is you can go back to the port of entry, to the Customs and Border Protection office, and they will help you to generate that document. So that's if you can't get it on the computer when you put your information in. Another way that you can do it, which is allowed under the rules, the new rules, is that if you come in at the port of entry, you can actually say to the officer that you want to go into secondary inspection and have this electronic I-94 generated. Now, it's highly unlikely that many of our clients and prospective clients are going to want to do that after a long international flight, that you're going to want to go into secondary inspection, because chances are you're going to have to wait there. So again, a lot of people will just go ahead and generate this, this computer-generated I-94 when they get to a computer and a printer. So what do you need the I-94 for? What do you need that for? Why is it important? Well, there are a couple of things. One is you want to make sure that the information is accurate. We can't just assume that if the government enters that information that it's accurate. And you know, my 25 years of immigration practice, the one thing I can definitely consistently say is that we inconsistently see the government put information into its databases. We sometimes see names that are incorrectly entered. We see addresses that are constantly incorrectly entered, and it's not you know, it's not that they do that with an intention of doing it, it just happens. It's the nature of the human beings who are putting the data in. So it's always a good idea, of course, to get a printout of that I-94 and to confirm the accuracy. The accuracy also being that you want to find out how long you're allowed to stay, because we all know that if you overstay a date certain on your I-94, which may not necessarily be reflected on the stamp that's in your passport, then you start to accrue what's called unlawful presence. If you accrue unlawful presence, then what happens is if you accrue unlawful presence in excess of 180 days, you could become subject to the 3-year bar. If you accrue unlawful presence in excess of 365 days, then you could be subject to the 10-year bars. If you depart after being subject to that, after accruing that unlawful presence, you could unfortunately be barred from re-entering to the United States. So that's why you want to confirm the amount of time that you're allowed to stay. So these are some of the reasons why you need the I-94. Another reason why you need the I-94 is because if you're coming into the United States on a work visa, which many of our clients are, they're entering the United States with H-1Bs, with Ls, with Os, with P visas, then of course that I-94 is one of the documents that you'll need to show to a human resources manager of an employer who's going to be filling out the I-9 form. And you'll see that we have some previous videos about the I-9 form and what a human resources manager is supposed to do to confirm compliance with the Employment Eligibility Verification rules under the Immigration Reform and Control Act. So I hope that this is just a little bit of information for all of you and a highlight as to the reasons why you're going to want to print out that I-94 arrival departure record when you enter the United States. So thanks very much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to direct them to any member of our firm and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Once again, thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye now.